Hello YouTube, what is up? It's me Rahul, and today I know I told you guys I'd do this a while ago, but we're doing our Fusion Strike set list review. If you want my cards that are already going to be good, that I already harp on a little bit, just go straight to my buy list video. The card will be up here somewhere. Click on that, go to the buy list video, pick out what you need from the set already. I know everyone's already looking ahead to Brilliant Stars. But we're going to try to just go through Fusion Strike together, see if there's any hidden gems in the set, kind of get my honest take on some of the things. I know I'm a little delayed on this, but I haven't been streaming or anything recently just because life's been a little bit busy. But I figured I would still do the set list review because I promised it, and I want to do one every set, and that's how I'm going to conduct my channel. So if you guys enjoy the content, obviously hit like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and we will give you guys this wonderful, beautiful video. So this is the, I believe, largest set in our history with 284 cards. Don't worry, guys. It's not going up from there. It's going to go down. Pokemon made it to the next set, I think, is like 170, which is really nice because I don't think the sets should keep getting bigger. It's a nightmare for collectors. It is fine for me as a player because I guess the more product that gets opened, the cheaper some cards should be. But if the pull rates are still bad, then, it's not going to be great for me to get the cards that I want. I like opening product personally. I like to open a box and an ETB at least of each new set, kind of to experience some of the art and some of everything all together at once. So I like to open at least a box if I can. So it's something that I like to do. And obviously when I open my Fusion Strike box, another video you guys can watch, I already did that. Thanks to Pokemon International that sent me a box. It's interesting. Some of the hits were interesting. I didn't realize that some of the cards in Fusion Strike were in Fusion Strike. So let's go through it together right now. There's a Caterpie, a Metapod, and a Butterfree. I think the Butterfree has a very interesting ability with tricolor skills. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may leave your opponent's active burned, confused, and poisoned. Now, these are really cool abilities. Unfortunately, Rare Candy is not very strong right now, and playing a Stage 2 Pokemon has to warrant that it kind of wins you the game. So Salazzle Butterfree is like a really cool combo you could pull off as a fun deck, but I think without new Rare Candy rules, I don't know, it's just hard to pull off the combo consistently like you would be able to do with Salazzle, Weepin Bell, and using Scoop Up Nats. So this is just a combo that I don't think can reasonably see play. Shroomish and Breloom are both nothing to write home about. Breloom V is a single strike Pokemon, but it can't use any of those single strike tag energies besides the Rainbow for single. Counter 20 plus whatever damage this Pokemon took, which is really unfortunate. Because I don't think this Pokemon's surviving any attacks at all. Mach Crutch, I don't know. Grass Colors, 140. Nothing great here. Nothing to write home about. Pansage and Simisage are nothing crazy either. Seawaddle and Swadloon and Leavenny. So this is a cool attack. Colors, heal loop, heal all damage from each of your bench Pokemon, then shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached into your deck. But I think this would be way more playable on a Stage 1. On being on a Stage 2, it makes it really impossible to play. But say this was on a Stage 1, especially with some of the newer cards in Brilliant Stars coming out, Charon's Care, etc. You could build a very feasible heal Stage 1 into your control deck, where you can loop a heal card. I don't know. It would see play, maybe. I don't know. It could. Bractus. We have the way to get tools back. We have no reliable number of tools that are good in this format, so I wouldn't play those either. Shelmet and Excalibur. I think Excalibur is a cool card, the Fusion Strike Excalibur, because it has, if this goes from your bench to your active, it can be used for a grass, which is just 120. But 120 plus a power tablet puts you in right outside of one-shot range of an Umbreon, VMAX, or something else, and that means then you can use Oricoreo's attack to pepper those damage counters onto the board as you like. So this can abuse your Fusion Strike energies as well. The only downside is that it is a Stage 1, and it has to go from the bench to the active this turn for that attack, so first impression, effectively. It says Ninja Tornado, but it's just first impression. And I don't think Umbreon VMAX or things that are weak to grass right now are too prevalent in the metagame, but if that ever becomes a thing, maybe this card has a place in Fusion Strike decks. Virizion is not very good. Phantump and Trevenant, these are just really bad cards. Grubbin, Dewpider, Araquanid are all bad. Serena V is a really cool card. Queen's Orders, 20 plus 40 for each bench Pokemon you discard. There's no real good recovery right now. But I think this card has potential in the future. I think there is some combo that could potentially come off of this. A late game finisher, maybe. Just a way to kind of offset the prize trade a little bit. I don't know. Maybe this could go into a Leafeon deck. something like that. I don't know. Leafeon grass seems very underwhelming right now as a type besides Leafeon. So, yeah. Both Rillaboom V and VMAX are bad. Gossifleur and Eldegoss are also not great. Appleton V is an example of a card that is horribly power crept out, and this card is not good whatsoever. So, at least she's cute. Zorud is not great either. Two Vulpix, and they both don't do anything, so let's go to the next two cards. This Ninetales is a really cool ability with, as long as it's in play, the retreat cost of each or fire, or Pokemon that have a fire energy attached is colorless, less, which means you could play this in a deck that has really heavy retreat costs that needs to keep pivoting from the active. Unfortunately, there are no decks that revolve around pivoting out of the active into the bench, or vice versa right now, but if that kind of a deck came into play, maybe Ninetales could be really good. Growlithe and Arcanine, both not good. This art is really sick, though. I really like this like background art. Slugma and Macargo are both pretty bad. Victini and Pansear and Simisear are all pretty bad. There's a Simisear V coming out, apparently. That's wild to me. I didn't even read the card yet. I might do a short on it tomorrow. Who knows? Chandelure V and VMAX. Binding Heat is not a really cool ability. It doesn't do anything because tools aren't really that relevant. But Poltergeist is a really cool attack. With Fire Color 70x, the trainers in the hand. It's really hard to play around, obviously. Water type weakness is not great right now. There's not that many turn and burn, but with cards coming in the next set and potentially Ultra Ball coming in later down the line, I don't think this card can be really played, unfortunately, because I think by the time this card comes out and gets that cool new Fire Stadium as well, it just makes it really hard because Ultra Ball and stuff should be out by then. So, hard to play. Heatmor. The attack is so funny because you need literally the same energy as a Tag Bolt on a Pikarom to do 9180 on a 110 HP fire Pokemon with no fire acceleration. Like, absolutely fantastic, right? Oricorio with the Fervent Strike, or Fervent Lesson ability, 20 less to all of your Fusion Strike Pokemon, and then Passionate Drop, 5 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. This card, I think, becomes a natural staple in any Fusion Strike deck as a 1-of, potentially a 2-of, just because the ability doesn't stack, yes, but the ability can carry you through games, make that 2-shot into a 3-shot, that 1-shot into a 2-shot, and that damage with the Passionate Drop can also set up damage ahead of time because your attacks don't one-shot. You just do 210, so you can put that damage counters across the board, pepper it across the board, kind of figure out how you want to map out the rest of your game if there's something in the active spot that is not a, palpable prize for your 6 prize strategy. Maybe you're thinking about taking out 2 VMAXs and they have a Sobble in the active, or maybe you're already taking a prize and they have something in the active you don't want to hit. I don't know, something like that. 2 Cinderace Vs, this is, I think, literally a reprint of the other one we have, and then this is a new one with a single strike tag. 4 energy for 210 is just not good. And then this is 4 energy for 230, also not good. Yes, it's a single strike card, but I think it's just strictly bad. Sizzlipede, I really like this art. It's really funny looking. It's not zooming more, but Sizzlipede, Scorch, not good either. Scorch, not good either. Shelter and Cloister, I think this would be a cool attack if this said, like, your Rapid Strike Pokemon take 30 less from attacks, or, like, I don't know, that'd be too broken, actually. But Shell Armor is bad because this Pokemon taking 30 less doesn't do anything for us. This Starmie is a card that people have talked about a little bit just because it has this card attack called Rapid Fisted Star. You may choose a number of water energy from this Pokemon. For each energy you discard, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon and do 30 damage to it. Now, the reason people are talking about that is because you can use cards like Frostmoth, Bucket, and Nessa kind of to get a bunch of energies onto the board in one turn and just start sniping stuff. But what they are missing is you need 11 energy to one-shot a VMAX. Now, Lapras is not good. Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr are also not good. The ability Berserk, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. Flip a coin. If heads, discard the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. If tail, discard the top 5 of your deck. Very funny. Just want to put that out there. You could lose to this deck in theory somewhere. Meryl is Azumarill. Not good. This could be okay. Diving Rescue is a cool attack, but it does it is on a stage 1, so it's a lot of commitment to get this out. I guess it could kind of work together in the Roll Together deck, like the new round, which is Roll Together. So if you played this and played like the Azumarill and a 1 water or like a couple of waters to get 3 Pokemon and support cards from Disco Pile, put them in your hand, kind of like a recovery aspect of your 1 prizers. But I think your Roll Together only maxes at 100, so I don't know. It doesn't seem very good. You're not even 2-shotting VMAXs, that's the problem. You need to be able to like at least 2-shot VMAXs as a single prizer deck to even stand a chance. this Quillfish, this Mantine, and this Mudkip are all bad. But this Marsh, no, it's still bad. The Swampert has a really cool ability with the Mud Maker. You may attach a water or fighting from your hand to one of your Pokemon once during your turn. But again, on a stage 2. And again, there's nothing really that benefits off of this, but you can just play like Melanies and cards like that benefit off of these cards. Clamper, Hunter, and Gorbis. I think the Huntail is really cool because Single Strike Jammer makes Single Strike Pokemon need 1 more colorless energy to attack, and I think that could be a really big deal. So I think this card is very playable. I think this card is very cool. If Single Strike becomes too big in the metagame and decks like Mew need to deal with it, you have a way to deal with your quote-unquote auto-loss matchup. Because Umbreon is a really scary card to deal with if you're playing Mew VMAX. Yes, Umbreon VMAX cannot bring up your Mew if you have a Fusion Strike energy attached to it, but it still makes it really scary because you have to be able to deal with it, and you don't one-shot Umbreon, and they can, one-shot you. But this ability makes it so you can buy a turn. I think Rapid Strike Canceler on the Garbis that gets rid of your opponent's Rapid Strike abilities is kind of a moot effect, just because both the Shady Dealings, Inteleon, and Drizzle are not Rapid Strike Pokemon, so you're already stopping the pings from the Inteleon with your Fusion Strike energy, so I don't think canceling Rapid Strike abilities is necessarily beneficial. Like, I feel like there's just no abilities that are strong enough to warrant playing this as a slot to shut down, because both Shady Dealings, Inteleon, and Drizzle kind of already benefit from the fact that they're stampless, just very vanilla cards with the really broken ability. Both these cards suck. This Basculin, I think, is very cool. I think this Basculin that has Wound Swarm, it's a Rapid Strike tag Pokemon. That's why it's really important. For watercolors, it does 30 plus 10 times the number of damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon, which means you can set it up with a Rapid Flow for 150 on a VMAX Pokemon. You can set it up with the Inteleon VMAX, the new one, for 140, and then all of a sudden you're hitting for 30 plus the 140 already on there, which means 170. You're setting up for 310 plus an Inteleon ping means knockout on 330, and then with an Urshifu deck, you're simply just doing this plus this, giving you 180 exactly to knock out almost every VMAX in the deck. So you don't necessarily have to pay Inteleon line anymore in Rapid Strike Urshifu. You can simply make it a Rapid Strike Urshifu toolbox style deck, playing like kind of towards like Melanie Engine potentially even, and just kind of cut some of the Octos out. Play more heavy Vaporeon, maybe like Vaporeon Urshi with Basculin Octillery. Like, that could be your engine. And then you'd even play Metacham maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I don't think Metacham's very good. But you can kind of make it more of a water-focused, or even just play like a straight, like, find my fighting energies, Rapid Flow on this turn, or like find my water energies, Rapid Flow turn 1, maybe Rapid Flow turn 2 if I can get that off, and then I can Wound Swarm for the game. I'm a huge fan of Basculin. I think this card is going to be very good. Galarian Darumaka, Galarian Darmanitan are both pretty bad. This Greninja V is absolutely terrible. It's funny, but it's terrible. Clauncher, Clawitzer, both bad. Crabominable. The first attack is kind of funny because you can discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck, so it's our first real like milling card I guess we've gotten in a while. Fist of Destroyer, 90 plus 60 for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. I think if it was just 2 water or water colorless and the 60 was reduced significantly, like maybe 30x, I think it would be very playable still, because the 2 energy requirement just makes it playable, but the fact that it's a 3 energy requirement makes it really hard to pull off reliably, because if you could, I don't know, like you hit something with Suicune and then you can drop the Crabominable and Fist of Destroyer to clean up the game with a Melanie, I think this card could be really playable. Yes, the 4 retreat cost kind of blows, which means it has to be a finisher card, in my opinion. Pukabuku, this card is also really cool. Pukabuku Fling, once during your turn, if this card's in your hand, you put this card at the bottom of your deck to draw a card. I think this card is absolutely cute, insane. I don't know, not insane. If it was in play and went to the bottom of your deck, it'd probably be way better. Like Apom with the Snapping Tail, I think, Snapback. I don't know, something like that. But Pukabuku is very cute. I think this card can see play in decks that need to dig a little bit deeper and don't mind having that extra basic in their deck or have more basic search than other decks. Yeah, I like it. It's a good card. Inteleon VMAX is a card that I really like as well. The double shooter ability is really cool. You can discard a water energy from your hand, put 2 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, or water color is 70 plus 70 and return the energy to your hand. It does 70 more for that. So I don't think, so this is something that I've talked to a couple people about, and a lot of them think the ability is really broken. I, for some reason, don't think so. I have this like stigma. Maybe the ability is really good, and maybe I'm just really wrong. This is one of the situations where I could just be tunnel visioning on a deck that focuses simply on like a thick Inteleon line, like 4-4-3-1 Inteleon with a Rod, and then a 4-4 VMAX line with like a 2-2 Octillery as well. So you're basically just playing like the Urshifu skeleton, but then you play like 4 Cheryl, Palpad, I don't know, Path to the Peaks, probably Marnie's, like cards like these, where all you're doing every turn is disrupting your opponent and returning your energy back to your hand. And say they miss an energy with me, maybe you play a card like Flannery, maybe you play a card like Sydney, like some of these more control-esque, like annoying cards that people would categorize can kind of go into this. I'm thinking this could be more of like a healing deck. But maybe that's just me focusing too much on the stigma. Obviously, I haven't had the cards yet, so I can't work with it. But once it gets released on PTCGO, I will have a chance to experiment a little bit with the deck and kind of figure out what I want to do. But that's my angle for how I want to build it. Choodle, Dreadnought, Aracuda, Barraskewda, Snom, Frostmoth, all bad. Pikachu V, I realized that was in the set. If you watch my poll video, I was like, LOL, good one. Voltorb, Electrode, both bad. Plus all mine and bad, but also funny that they're both Rapid Strike. I thought one would be Rapid and one would be Single Strike tagged, because typically they're, opposites. Shinx, Luxio, and Luxray are all bad. Dude, I don't understand. They print cards like this, Stage 2, 160 HP, so already pretty bad. Thunderclaw, 90. What are you hitting for 90 damage if I'm getting a Stage 2 out? Like, stop printing these kinds of cards. Like, they're cool, but, like, at least make them semi-playable. Like, these don't even cut it in, like, a cube. Rotom, there's no tools that are good right now. There's a lot of tool-focused cards in this set, so it makes me believe maybe they have some focus coming on tools soon. But, I don't know. Tynamo, Electric, and Electros are all bad. Helioptile, Heliolisk are bad. Charjabug. This Vikavolt is really cool. It did really well in Japan because of the Charjabug that we had before. But right now, Lightning Electric Blaster is really hard to pull off reliably every turn because it's discard 2L and do 200 damage to one Pokemon. But without the Charjabugs, you can't really chain that reliably. So this is a far worse deck. This Zeraora is pretty bad. The Bolton V has a really cool secondary attack with the Electro Bullet, but I don't think this deck is... This Bolton is, I think, strictly just worse than the other Bolton. I think you are always finding yourself wanting to play for the other Bolton because just charging up energy is always better, and I think Bolt Storming is always just better. And then Lightning Storm on the new Bolton VMAX just gives you more HP, gives you a bigger guy, 30 plus 30, kind of goes a little bit more in the distance than 10 plus 30 would, because it just mitigates sometimes that 10 doesn't do anything for you. So this kind of gets you there, it gets you over that little hump. And then 230 for 3, so even on early as turn 2, you can hit for 230, even though this says 240 right here. Weird. Toxol, this Toxol is the one you want to play because it's the Fusion Strike one. And this Toxicity has Max Downer. This is not a single Toxicity ability. You can have as many Toxicity in play as you want. It applies to all of them. It has to be all your Pokemon in play are Fusion Strike, by the way. So you can't like tech funny cards in this deck. It has to just be all Fusion Strike, which is fine because Genesect draws your entire deck. So it's cool. It's minus 30 for each of your opponents. Like all your opponents, you max of 30 less, which is just a broken ability in my opinion. You can play if you can get a 2/2 line of this out. Now all your opponents' VMAXs are 60 HP less, which makes your attacks swing a lot harder. So, more Pico, Jigglypuff, Wigglytuff, all bad. Okay, so Jiggly has the Everybody rollout. Interesting. Jigglypuff. Now, Mew VMAX. I think Mew is very good because Mew has Energy Mix going second. You can search deck for an energy, attach it to one of your Fusion Strike Pokemon, so you can power up a Mew on the bench, power up a Genesect, get the ball rolling somewhere, going second, so you don't have like a bad play going second ever. You have just an attack that's good, and then your second attack, Psycho Jump, Psychic Color 70, and you can shuffle it into the deck with everything attached. Is a really good attack to copy with your Mew VMAX to kind of escape a bad situation. Like maybe you have a lot of damage on your active and you just need to do 70 and get out of there. Now Mew VMAX has Cross Fusion for double colorless, can copy one of your bench Fusion Strikes Pokemon's attacks and use it. Right now the only real options are Genesect, Meloetta, the Oricorio we talked about earlier, and our Mew V. There's not that many attacks to copy. So, yeah. And then we can max Miracles 130 Shred, and you can copy your own bench Mew VMAX's attack, so don't forget you can do that. Snubble, Gramble. This ability is cool to get the 2 tool cards, but again, it's tool cards. If it was like 2 items, maybe it'd be broken, I think, but I don't know. Tool cards don't do anything right now. There's nothing good with tools, or no good tools. This Galarian Cursola is very cool because it says put one of your opponent's benched, or put a Pokemon V onto your opponent's bench with 30 HP remaining, a basic. So you can kind of abuse it, and there's a gradient later on the set that's really funny. So, Mawile, this Deoxys is just like strictly terrible, and it has 3 tags, and if you hit the pre-release promo, it has a 4th tag. Mushroom is bad, Zelos bad. This Meloetta is cool because it's Fusion Strike. Psychic Color is 70x the number of Fusion Strike energy you have in play, so you max it 280, which means 1 Power Tablet kind of gets you over that hump to one-shot a VMAX. So early game, this card can be really good, and it can be used to offset the price trade very quickly. but once you lose like even one Fusion Strike energy, you have no way to recycle them, so you can't really use this guy anymore. But having one in the deck is not a bad option because it's just really early one prizer that can do a lot of damage. Sandygast, Palisand, Indeedee, Dreepy, Drakloak, Fusion, Dragapult, Sandshrew, has everybody roll out. Sandslash, Mankey, Primeape, Geodude, Graveler, Golem, these are all bad. This is a cool ability, but it has to be knocked out to put 10 damage counters on the opposing active, not just attacked. And it's a stage 2 that is 180, so it's like, it's a stage 2. This kind of sucks. Onix, Steelix, Gligar, Gliscor, Makuhita. Hariyama has Guts, which is the ability we've seen time and time again. If it's being knocked out, flip. Baltoy, Claydol. Lucario V is a card that I put on my buy list. This card is nothing to write home about, but I just had the idea that potentially Lucario V Max or V Star would be announced in the next set. But I don't know. Probably not. Drillbur, Landorus, Pancham. I really like this art. This art's like, okay, we'll never see it. I'm joking. Stuffle, Beware, Clawbut. Dude, there's so many fluff cards that are just unplayable in this set. Like, okay. Gengar V and VMAX. Now, Gengar V is very good for the triple dark 190, which means you can start playing hiding darks and stuff in your single strike deck 190. Plus the couple of single strike energies means you can one shot a lot of stuff with that 190. It's a little bit better than the baby single strike Urshi. The Gengar VMAX has Panic Fear. 60x all of your opponent's V and GX Pokemon. Now, there's not that many decks that play a lot of V/GX Pokemon down all at once. It's usually their 2 attackers and potentially 1 support. So it's 180. So it's not a lot of damage. But for 3, it does 250, which is not bad either. So you can choose to play Gengar like with Umbreon and Houndooms, or you can just play the old version of Single Strike that we have right now with single Urshifu, Umbreon, and Houndooms. Now, Tyranitar, this card is just strictly bad. It's just way worse than its counterpart in the Single Strike deck. So all of this Obstagoon doesn't even have an ability. Bad. They give us a Darkrai, it's bad. This Trubbish is very cute, but it's very bad. Garbodor, Zorua, Zoroark, Volibee, Mandibuzz, Pangoro, Yveltal. I pulled this card actually in my box in my opening, and it wasn't a holo, and I was very surprised. Okay, that's just a tidbit. Going next. Impidimp, Morgrem, Grimmsnarl. This is a holo though. Morpeko, Galarian Meowth, Galarian Berserker, Skarmory. These cards are all somehow so bad. Like, it just baffles my mind. Genesect V, the best card in the set by far and away. Fusion Strike system. Once during your turn, you can draw until you have as many cards in hand as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon. So you can, if you have all 6 in play, you can draw 6 up to 6, or a full hand of 6. And that is not limited by 1 Genesect. So if you have 4 Genesect in play, kumbaya, you get to draw for that many times. And Fusion Strike can just be built as a turn and burn deck, which I plan on doing. And you can go through your deck really quickly and kind of get the entire game plan up and running. And by turn 2, turn 3, you should be like a few cards left in your deck, one-shotting your opponents, like bossing every turn, like that kind of play. Technoblast, 210. That's the attack we're going to copy with Mew. 210 is a very solid number. That's it. That's all we've got for you. Klefki, Tokenomaru, Meltan, Melmetal, Corviknight, Cufant, Copperajah. This Latios is pretty good because Reticus is not what we're talking about here. But Dyna Barrier 70 during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by opponent VMAXs. Now, I know what you're thinking. The energy cost is really annoying to get to, but a Mew VMAX lets you copy that for free, or the 2 energy, sorry. So 70 and Mew VMAX kind of doesn't get touched. So you have a little bit of an opportunity to kind of maneuver around some really annoying attacks. Like maybe you're attacking into a Dragapult, or maybe you're attacking into Shadow Rider. I don't know. But it gives you a chance for you to play around all that. And then Latios is just strictly worse than Genesect, because even though it's 210, it makes you discard 2. This Gujo is a really cool ability that says as long as his opponent's in your active, whenever your opponent attaches energy, they have to flip. If tails, the energy is discarded without being attached. And I believe it also says it's that doesn't count as their attachment, so they can keep trying over and over. But I mean, how much energy do you have in your deck? You can just keep hitting tails. So this could be the birth of a new control deck, or I don't know, a card that's played in expanded control, or even standard control, if we had more control cards. Turtonator, these cards are bad. Dojiro is bad. Chansey Blissey is bad. No, the Blissey is actually decent because it gives your everybody rolls out deck a cool mechanic, which says they don't take any damage from opponent VMAXs, which means your opponents have to use Pokemon Vs, so potentially you could be in a position where all your everybody rollouts can kind of be okay. Now, we don't have the double colorless energy yet. That's not coming out for a couple more months. But maybe everybody rollout could do something. I don't know. It's a funny deck. Kanga, Eevee, Snorlax. This Dunsparce I put in my buy tier, and I think it's going even higher up now after the reveal of the cards from Brilliant Star. Wonder Burrow, each player's colors, Pokemon plays no weakness. We got Sharon's Care, we got double colorless energy, or whatever its new name is. But this card is skyrocketed in value. Listen to me, guys. Listen to me. Stantler, this Miracle Art's sick. Also can contribute to some sort of a control archetype if it didn't say Fusion Strike trainers, because we don't have any control-esque Fusion Strike trainers. These are all bad. This art, wait, not this one. This art is really cute. I really like this bunny. This green VMAX is really funny because it does 160 and you draw 3. But the funnier one is 30, and if your opponent's active basic gets knocked out, then you get 2 more prize cards. So you can do the Goya and Cursola combo, put something on the bench, bring it up, and knock it out, take 4 prizes total, which is kind of insane. Rookity, Corvusquire, Wooloo, Woolululu, double. Okay, now here are the fun part. The trainers, the supporters, the stadiums. That's, I think, the really meat of the set always. Adventurer's Discovery gets you the 3 Pokemon V, reveal them, put them in your hand. That's including VMAXs, V Stars, V Unions probably. So this card's really good. I think this card's going to see play. This card's going to be good. Just get it. VIP Pass, you can use this going first. Only, sorry, on your first turn, sorry. To protect up to 2 basic Pokemon, put them under your bench. So this doesn't go to your hand, go straight to your bench. I think this card is really good in decks like Fusion Strike, decks that have more turn and burn, decks that need to find those basic Pokemon on turn 1. Yes, card is good. I stand by this card. Bug Catcher, nothing to write home about. Chili Silent Crest, search for up to 3 Fusion Strike Pokemon, reveal them, put them in your hand. This is a good 1 of, potentially, maybe a 2 of in Fusion Strike decks, just because on turn 1, if you find this, you're pretty much cooking, like you're okay. You can even find this on a later turn to find your Mew VMAXs and maybe like, I don't know, Toxicitries if you're playing with a Toxicity build. And you might not even have to play Evo Instances at that point. You can play like Chili Silent Crest and like kind of use the Genesect to kind of dig deep for your 2 Chili Silent Crest and try to use that on turn 2 to try to get like all your pieces up and running. We have Cook. He just heals 70. Nothing crazy here. Crymomatic, discard an item from your hand. If heads, flip coin. If heads, search your deck for a card, put it in your hand. That's insane. This card is absolutely insane. I love this card. I don't think it should fundamentally exist because of how broken it is. We already played cards like Super Scoop Up because of how much of a swing they were. We already played cards like Pokemon Catcher because of how big of a swing they were. Why would we not play a card like Crymomatic? Why would we not play a card like Crymomatic? Just saying. We already played cards like Crushing Hammer. Like, these kinds of cards, when they work, give you such a big advantage that I think this card is one of my favorite cards in the set. Cross Switcher is basically our Guzma, but you have to play 2 at the same time, so it's a little bit harder to pull off, and I think Fusion Strike might be the only set deck that can kind of reliably do it. I think Cross Seaver isn't bad, because you can get a supporter or Pokemon into your hand, but you have to play both at the same time. But, again, you have to use both at the same time, so Dancer's just bad. Alessa's Sparkle, very good. Choose up to 2 of your Fusion Strike Pokemon. Like, point them out, get the Fusion Strike energy, attach 1 to each. So, simple, gets your board rowing. Farewell Bell is just bad, man. I don't know. Just, Judge is back. Power Tablets to plus 30 to Fusion Strike Pokemon. This card is very good. I think it's a staple in all, like, 4 of immediately. Quick Ball got reprinted. Schoolboy and Schoolgirl are just weird. I wouldn't play these cards at all. It's just like a worse, like, Tierna or Charon or whatever we have right now. Hop. Shauna is not great, but I mean, we don't have that much good shuffle and draw, so maybe Shauna gets play. Sydney's cool for expanded as well as standard. Your opponent reveals your hand. Discard up to 2 combination of tool cards, special, and stadiums from it. In standard, I think this card is actually really cool. And expanded, I just think this card has a lot of playability. So we'll see. We'll see what people do with it that are smarter than myself. Skaters Park is another stadium I really like. Whenever either player's active retreats, put a basic energy that will be discarded into their hand instead of the discard pile. So just kind of a free pivot on a lot of decks, like, you know, that might need that energy back in their hand. I don't know, like, it's just cool. It's a cool stadium. It's just I think a better training court. Spongy Gloves is just 30 to water types, and then Fusion Energy is our last and final card that gives you the rainbow to all Fusion Strike Pokemon and prevents all effects of your opponent's Pokemon abilities done to these cards that it's attached to. So Umbreon VMAX, Inteleon Pings, a lot of good stuff. And there's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful arts. I really want this Mew. I really want these breakdancing Genesects, but that will have to do it for me, guys. I am tired. That is the entire set list review. You've probably heard me talk about this in my buy list video. So I kind of auctioneer styled it a little bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. We have a week till the set comes out. I don't know what I'm going to do for Monday or Wednesday's video. Kind of let me know what you want to see in the comments below. It probably won't be deck profiles just because I don't think I have anything in mind for, like, I don't want to do anything early until it drops on PTCGO if I'm going to put codes on. If I'm not putting codes on, then I'll try to do like in person or like build them by hand or something, deck profiles, because I might just not put on codes until next year. But I thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know in the comments below what you want to see for Monday and Wednesday's videos. Maybe something educational, maybe something about IRL play. Let me know. I have time over the weekend to kind of sit down and kind of organize my thoughts if you guys can get comments in fast enough. But appreciate you as always. Bye, guys.